Hello, everyone. My name is Samia Santos, and I am so excited to be co hosting yet another episode of our 21 Days of Gratitude. Today, I am here with my beautiful friend, Naomi. And Naomi,
Hi.
could you please introduce us to our wonderful guest today?
Yes. Hi, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be with all of you today here with Hope to Courage. And we have an incredible guest today. I am so inspired by his journey. It's someone who has been a friend and an inspiration to many. So we have John Salama from Elevate Consulting today with us. John, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, tell everyone who you are and what you do.
Fantastic. Thank you guys for having me on today. My name is John Salama, and I have been in so many different careers because of where the passion falls in. So just to let you guys know a little bit about me, I've been in martial arts all my life since I was 11 years old. I then went on to become an engineer because that's what you do back in the days, right? You go to school, you get a degree, correct?
Yes.
And I became an electrical engineer. I worked as an electrical engineer for about 6 to 8 years, but my passion just wasn't there, right? So then I pursued the martial art career full time. Honestly, I started at 18 years old having my first school when I was in college, and it helped me pay through college, right? But then afterwards, it was like, you know what? No, I'm going to tap into this. So I became a martial art instructor, school owner. And I've been at it for about 22 years right now since I left the engineering world. Yes, I'm an old man. But later on in my life as a martial arts instructor, I realized we're in the fitness industry. And unfortunately, with the fitness industry, as business owners, we tend to walk away from the physical aspect of training and more into the business aspect of training. So I started gaining weight, and then it was like coming home late at night eating, and I just wasn't happy with me, right? So I decided to tap into the health and wellness industry. And I became a certified health and wellness coach after losing approximately 60, 64 pounds in about a
That is
4 to 5 months
amazing.
window.
Love
Congratulations.
it.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Alongside of that, I love to work with people. So I started helping school owners become a better version of themselves by becoming the entrepreneurs that they need to be. We all go to school, we all learn a trade, but we don't necessarily go to school to become business owners, right? So there's got to be somebody out there that's going to help you, mentor you in life. So I have been in the Skillz organization, which is a child development organization that uses martial arts as a vehicle. And I was coaching, or I am still coaching, some of those school owners into becoming better school owners, right? And as I was doing that, there was something that was missing. Naomi, there is nothing like me trying to coach you based on my experience, right? My experience is not your experience, right? My
Yes.
experience is like what I did, my errors, my faults, and everything. I'm like, no, don't do that. Like, I can't tell you to do that. And I was like, you know what? No, there's got to be a better way to do this. So I was like, what do I need to do to become a better coach or a better mentor for you guys, right? So what I decided to do is to become a life coach in order for me to help you at your needs, at your passion, at your wants, at everything. I need to understand me and you better, right? I understood me and I coached you based on me, but I didn't understand you. So becoming a life coach, it allowed me to really tap into talking to you about your passion, talk to you about your dreams, talk to you about your wants and needs so I can coach you better in how to do that. So I got a package that allowed me to become a master life coach within that category. And that package is, or that life coaching comes in with a purpose in life, purpose with goals, how to be happy. And that was a big focus for me. A lot of the people that I talked to, they weren't happy. They were afraid, you know what I mean? And they were afraid of doing something new. And then ultimately speaking is the professionalism and how to be an entrepreneurial coach as well. So it was a
That's
good journey.
amazing. I know that you wear many hats, but the one thing that I love about how your journey has been defined is that in everything you've made decisions based on how can I better serve people? And that it's exactly what these 21 days of gratitude and hope to courage is all about. It's like, how can we serve people from a 360 approach in every aspect of what they need? And I think that's one of the things that drew me to you. I was so inspired by your journey because, like you said, I experienced one thing in the past 2 years. Everyone has experienced something different. It's like some
Completely
people
different.
say, we're all on the same boat. Maybe not. We might all be on the same storm, but we're all in different boats.
Different boats.
Right? Some people have boats that are, you know, where you have a lot more technology, where you have a lot more more comfort. Other people might be floating on a floaty, and it's so much harder. So our goal through this is that as we connect all of these resources, people are not in the middle of this storm on a floaty or on a raft, but that they can now say, okay, I'm in the middle of the storm, but first of all, I'm not alone. And second of all, I have all of the tools that I need to succeed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? There is nothing like being in the middle of that storm and having a whole lot of fear and anxiety because we can't think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We become reactors, not responders.
Yes.
And there is two different things here. Both reaction and responding requires emotion, right? But there's a difference between normal emotion and intelligence emotion. Okay. I have been through a lot in the last couple of years, and this last year, specifically 2021, there was 2 grieving situations that I was going through. And in the very beginning, I reacted. And I realized I was reacting in the middle of me reacting. And then later on, I was like, no, I need to take a breath. I need to be able to respond, because when I respond, I'm in control. Meaning I take the fear out of the equation and I go into the hope concept. And Naomi, you and I were talking yesterday, right? And
so good.
you know, there was
that.
there was like, you know, when I'm in the moment and I'm able to take the fear. Okay, let's go back real quick to martial arts. As a fighter, as a martial artist, right? I have 2 things that I can do right here. I can fight based on fear or fight based on courage. Okay. Fear will have anger. Fear will have an uncontrollable emotion. So you're cloudy, you're darkened. You can't think of what your opponent is doing. You can't see what your opponent is doing. Okay. But then fighting based on courage, fighting based on happiness, fighting based on understanding what is happening at the moment, understanding your opponent and what your opponent is going to do, then you respond better.
Yes.
Okay. That's the martial art world. That's what martial art has taught me in life. But at the same time, life is exactly the same way.
That's right. That's a great analogy. It applies. Absolutely.
Yeah. We go through storms. How are we going to handle those storms? Are we going to handle it based on fear or handle it based on hope, courage, you know, gratitude, happiness? You know, that's what we need to do. And honestly speaking, had I not had my circle of friends around me during the time of grief, allowing me to be able to, like, you know, John, just remember what you do best. John, like, you know, wake up kind of deal, right? It doesn't matter, guys, if you're a psychologist, if you're a doctor, when you're sick, you're sick. Sometimes, you know, the knowledge is there, but the action is not happening, right? So at the moment, I was like, I knew what I needed to do. I honestly knew what I needed to do. But to come out of that regular dark emotions into the intelligence emotions, sometimes it's really hard. It's really difficult.
Yeah.
So, you know, with that said, when I talk to people, I ask them, the first question is, are you happy or are you afraid of being happy? There is a psychological term that goes with it, guys. Okay. It's called karyophobia, CHERO phobia. Okay. And that the word karyo means fear of being happy, fear of joy.
It's incredible.
Right? And you know, I was mind blown when I realized, what? No way. Like, seriously, people are afraid of being happy, but they are, because like, how many of us feel like when we're happy and excited, then we're betraying our loved ones.
Yes.
Then we're portraying the world. Like, people look at you like, oh, you're happy all the time. You must have just an amazing life. You know what?
Yes, and that's absolutely true, John. When you think about what you said about being scared of being happy, you know, depending on who you surround yourself with, and depending on what your source of information is, you might convince yourself that you must be in a place of fear, that you have to be in a place of, like, everybody has to be an alert. But unfortunately, you know, we hurt our immune system, we hurt our nervous system by being in a constant state of that. Joy actually has benefits for our own bodies.
Yes.
So when we convince ourselves, Yeah, for sure. So when we convince ourselves like, okay, if I am happy, I am, like you said, betraying other people, but I'm also I'm not being sensitive to the needs of others. And one thing doesn't
Or
have to
perhaps
take away from the other.
sometimes we don't even realize how past trauma has held us back and prevents us from
Mhm.
moving on and being happy. Past trauma that we don't even think about, but our subconscious is
Yeah,
like they're holding on to it. And, it creates situations like these that prevent us from moving on and being happy. And then we see it all around us. We see it in our relationships. We see it in our health, in our physical health, in our emotional health, in our mental health. And we're
yeah,
wondering why all of these things are going on, but truly we're just dragging all of these things from the past and prevents us from living that fulfilled life that we were created to live. Love
absolutely.
it.
So, John,
Yes.
how does someone ascend from that? What do you
Mm,
provide? What are your tips? What can people do from your own journey to walk
sure.
away from that mindset and really start walking into joy and hope?
Sure. So we have the tendency to sacrifice, right?
Mm,
As moms, as dads, as people, we will sacrifice our needs to make other people happy.
yeah.
No, no, you cannot sacrifice yourself. And it doesn't matter. It's called being humble. No, it's not called being humble. It's called being dumb. You know
And
what I mean?
sometimes it's rooted with pride because we take
Yes,
pride in the fact that we do everything for everyone, or we take pride in the fact that they need me. So that's
yeah.
where my value comes from doing things for others, and then eventually we're not taking care of ourselves.
You're
Yes.
right. And then we say that when we take care of others, that's what makes me happy. It does make you happy. It makes you fulfilled that you've helped others, but it doesn't make you happy, right?
Mm,
It makes you fulfilled. You've poured more happiness in their cup, but you had to take out of your cup to put it in their cup, right? So
yes.
I'm going to mention a quote right here. And this quote is by Walt Disney. And he said, happiness cannot be traveled to, owned, earned, worn, or consumed. Happiness is the spiritual experience of living every moment with love, grace, and gratitude, right?
That's beautiful.
And that in itself. So, spiritual experience, I don't, for me, when you use the word spiritual, it doesn't matter what you practice. It doesn't matter what the spiritual concept is in your life. It's not about, whether it's a Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, or whatever. No, it is your approach of
Yeah.
seeing yourself. What is your spiritual guidance within you? Okay. Another thing that I want to mention to everybody is your motion in life is equal to your emotional well-being.
We'll say that
So
again.
if yeah, your motion in life is equal to your emotional well-being.
Mm,
So if your emotional state of mind is not where it needs to be, your motion in life is going to be like based on that. In other words, if you're emotionally happy, your motion in life is going to be happy.
yeah.
If you're
Love it.
emotionally in the dark, you're always going to be in the dark. You're going to do things being in the dark. How many times do you get in the car, you start screaming at people and get out of my way? What are you doing? Da, 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 da. And you're like, I'm like, well, what's going on? Like, did you wake up on the wrong side of the bed this morning? So ask yourself these questions. When you realize that you are in a state of constant complaining, you
Mm,
need to stop and ask yourself, what happened today? What happened this morning? What was my day, minute to minute approach of doing things? So for example, people get up in the morning and the normal routine is grab that coffee, watch the news, do this, do that. And I'm not saying that there is anything wrong with it, but is this how you want to prime your brain as soon as you wake up in the morning?
yes.
Is this how you want to prime your life as soon as you wake up in the morning? I've got a specific routine every single day when I wake up.
Yeah,
Okay.
talk to us a little bit about that because I know you're very
Yes.
consistent with
Sure.
that. Mhm.
Perfect. So when it comes to the health and wellness of the human body, okay, you have to start with the brain. Okay, the brain is the command center of the body. The brain tells the body what to do. The brain tells us how to feel. The brain allows us to pursue life in every aspect, from the intellectual, emotional, social, or physical well-being, right? So as the command center of the body, what do we need to do to prime that command center? Okay, so if your computer is sluggish, you're going to defrag it. If your computer is acting crazy and your hard drive, the system that's running your computer is being slow, well, there is something wrong right there. Okay. If it's making weird noises, that means it's angry. You're gonna have to take it to someone to fix it, right? So the brain is the same way. First thing you got to get up in the morning is you got to drink that 8 to 16 ounces of water. Whether you want to use apple cider vinegar and lemon, whether you can, it helps your internal, but it also wakes up that brain, right? And then I go into my spiritual side of things. I like to spend about 10 minutes in the morning, whether I'm a Christian, so whether I'm reading the Bible or listening to something that is powerful, that's going to allow me to prime my brain, get my brain going. Right after that, I drink my coffee with my workout. People drink water with their workout. I drink the coffee. Why? Coffee's got the caffeine. No. There is science proven behind it, right? I can go and get like pre-workout stuff that's going to boost me, right? Or I can use what's natural. Coffee is natural, so it's got the caffeine in it. It's going to get my blood going, right? So I'm drinking my coffee as I'm working out because it allows my body to boost, right? And then, right after I'm done working out, I'm refreshed. The chemicals of the body, the chemicals of the brain has been ignited. When I'm working out, endorphins are coming in, happiness are coming through. I'm seeing my body changing. So the reward systems are coming in. I'm beginning to love myself more. So oxytocin is coming through, right?
Yes.
And then before you know it, serotonin is going, yeah, baby, what's next, right? So again, use what is ignited in your body. It's a holistic approach. And that holistic approach has to start with you, within you. And you're not going to help others if you don't help yourself. Absolutely. And then I go about my nutrition, what I'm going to eat and stuff like that.
And what a difference it makes when your day begins that way. What a difference when you prime yourself. We've been talking about priming so often in these conversations, right, Samia? Because you're intentionally setting yourself up for winning, for joy, for happiness. And like you mentioned, all of the things happening in your brain and all of the chemicals that you're releasing through the exercise, through the practice of meditation and gratitude. John, you are such a wealth of just information and so much. We're so excited that you've said yes to these 21 days of gratitude. Why did you say yes? Why did you want to be a part of this movement?
Good. I'm glad you asked that question. So I've been helping children all my life. I've been helping them become better martial artists. Again, martial arts allows us to be focused, concentrating. Martial arts allows us to how to, be able to decide, is this a situation that I need to fight? Or is this a situation that I need to talk my way out of, right?
Oh, that's so good.
What I realized is adults preach and adults, tell everybody else what to do, but they don't do it themselves for their life. How many times have you given people advice, but you're not doing it yourself?
Yes.
Right. So I was like, you know what? I'm in this industry and I'm realizing these little gaps. So I was like, I want to help adults in order for us to have better future with the children that we have, with the group that we have. I have to start with the second, source of that command center, right? And, that one is going to become the parents or the adults in our life. Because if we as adults live by example, lead by example, the children are going to see that. I am so blessed. Both of my kids have been absolutely phenomenal. Yes, they make boneheaded decisions, but it's like one of those where they come back to me and they like, before you say anything, here's what I've learned. And I'm like, okay.
So you've given them those skills to think through their actions.
Saying that, I was just thinking, I'm part of the John Maxwell team. John has this phrase, and he says that the world is filled with a lot of managers, but not enough leaders. So thank you, John, for being a leader and showing, not just saying what to do, but showing the people what to do, because that just makes a world of a difference. We're often wondering why our kids are not following through and not doing the things that they need to do, why there isn't a big difference. And it's because we're telling, but we're not showing. So when we start
Yes.
living a better life and our own lives are an example of it, they begin to watch and then they follow by example. So thank you so much, not just for sharing your practice with us for the next few days, but also sharing your practice with the people around you and being that living example, leading by example. That makes a world of a difference.
Yes. So John will be with us throughout these 21 days of gratitude as a resident, just as a collaborator, sharing tips on health, tips on fitness, tips of mindset, but mostly focused on joy and happiness and how to coach ourselves into that and give ourselves permission to be happy in the middle of all the storms that we might be facing. John, how can people connect with you? Because I know that they now want to know a little bit more about what you do. Where can they find you?
Very good. Primarily come to me through Facebook. Okay, John Salama. All right. You will see everything that I do, whether it's the martial arts, whether it's the health and wellness or the life coaching, the new company that I just launched. It hasn't quite been LLC'd yet, but it's on its way. It's called Elevate Consulting, right? You can come through that. And, you know, when the name came about, for me, it was about like, okay, I gotta have a name that's gonna allow people, when they say it, they feel it. Okay, so when you say elevate, like first thing that comes to mind is like, I'm gonna thrive. I'm gonna try my best to be better than yesterday, right?
Yes.
And so yeah, come through me that way, and you know,
so
I'll connect with you.
John Salama on Facebook. He's your friend. He'll accept your friend request, and then you can also follow some of the work that he does through there. John, thank you so much once again for saying yes to these 21 Days of Gratitude initiative. We're so blessed to have you in our circle, and now you're in everyone's circle. So don't forget, everyone, join us January 9th to the 30th, our 21 Days of Gratitude, and all of these experts are here to support you with becoming this toolkit of information for you so you can take what you need. Thank you again.
Thank you guys for having me.
So much.
Thank you. Be blessed, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.